basically what we're talking through today is systemization as a sole trader using the Zoho One platform. And I know that it's going to add some enormous value, hopefully, to the people that are here in attendance. So first up, a little bit about me. I'm an ASPAS advisor. I'm based in Redland City here in, well, it usually is the beautiful sunny Queensland, but we've got rain just like everyone else on the East Coast. So I came out of a 30-year retail career. I currently have my own business as a leadership and what I would call a business development or a skills coach at thinkandgrowbusiness.com.au. And of course, there's my mobile phone number there. I've only just come into the ASPAS program for this reincarnation of it. I was part of the previous ASPAS advisor prior to them going into the digital space. So some of the important things to understand here, I'm not an affiliate with Zoho. I use Zoho, and I'm what I would call an advocate for Zoho because of the systemization, cost efficiencies and value that the software brings, especially to sole traders. It really does enable us to integrate and become more efficient than what we normally can be. It's not a sales call. I'm not here to sell you Zoho. I'm just going to be basically walking through how I've used it in my business. I would always encourage people to continue doing your own research and choose the best solutions for yourself. So this is a walkthrough how Zoho can support your business. And of course, if you need any additional support in relation to implementing, if you do choose to go for Zoho One as a platform, please, I welcome just booking in for a Zoho an ASPAS consult with me, and I can walk through and try and answer any questions or queries you may have about certain integration. As a sole trader, we're often, by the very nature, we're limited many times in the way that we operate our business because we are a sole trader. And some of the common problems that we've seen in this space is that often we believe that we're too small to systemize, or that there's not really a need for us to systemize. A lot of the programs available on the market are far too complex for our needs. There's too many features. There's too much what I would complexity within those programs, and they're far too complex for our needs. Also, what happens is as we grow our business, we tend to subscribe to software as we need it. So we might need an accounting package. So we subscribe to something like Xero or MYOB. We then need a point of sale. We then need this. We then need a CRM. And we end up with this assortment of software, and some of it that talks to each other, some that don't, others that we need to pay for another app like a Zapier to integrate and get them talking with each other. So it really does present a bit of a quagmire. And of course, once we've started paying for programs and we've put in the work and the effort to get our business into those programs, it becomes that emotional pull to actually stop using a program. So we end up with this assortment of programs that really aren't allowing us to be as efficient or as effective as we can be. And ultimately, we have a belief that we want to systemize, but sometimes we're not really convinced of that. We're not really convinced of that. We may have a range of clients, but we always tend to think about a CRM as being like a major sales force that's out there, so we can track the hundreds of clients or the thousands of clients in some cases in some of those larger businesses. So there's a little bit of a mindset shift that sometimes a sole trader needs to have before they start thinking about systemizing and making themselves more efficient. So a little bit about Zoho One. Zoho One is a range of integrated apps that ultimately will operate your entire business. It's over 40 applications and software, and all designed, well, most of them, sorry, they're all designed to work efficiently together, and most will integrate. So when I say use the words integrate, for example, the Sales IQ app, which is your sales chat bot on your website, integrates directly with your CRM, for example, within the Zoho package. So what we see is that the minute someone has reached out to you via your website through your sales bot, their details are automatically in your CRM. So when we talk about integration, that's the type of efficiencies that we can create. Now, 40 applications can be a bit overwhelming. You sign up for Zoho One and you get immediate access to this app suite. So, but it's important to understand how to scale your business and your system with it. So it's fair to say that out of the 40 odd apps that are available, I don't use them all. I have no need for some at the moment. But as I grow my business, I hope that I will need some of them. So, and I'll walk through those so that you can understand them. Zoho has been around for 25 years. It's part of their journey in what it is that they do. They're an Indian-based company. They've got Australian products. So we heard before about the wave scenario, about how they're suddenly just shutting off the Australian market, which unfortunately I wasn't actually even aware of. So it's good to know. But ultimately, Zoho has their own Australian versions of things like their accounting software, et cetera, et cetera. Why should we be focused on integration or software that at least talks to each other? It just helps make us more efficient. So another example is the project management software that comes with Zoho One, integrates with the mail program, integrates with Zoho Connect, so that you're automatically, once you've edited it in one of the apps, or you've created a project management timeline in one of the apps, it's then available in your tasks, say, for example, in your Zoho Mail. So you don't have to necessarily keep going back into project management. You can actually manage that out of your Mail app. And ultimately, what this is, today is to help give you a little bit of a push, maybe, to think, okay, systemizing is within my grasp. It is something that I can do, and it is something that is actually pretty cost effective, especially for a sole trader. So I'll walk through that, and hopefully hopefully the outcome will be, out of this particular webinar, is that you'll walk away thinking, yeah, I can do this. I can do this in my business, and I can become more efficient, which then enables you more time to be actually selling who it is that you are, selling and marketing your business. So this is one of the keys with the Zoho One, is that you basically go from the concept of apps into an operating system. And as you can see there, we've got there's sales, there's marketing, there's finance, there's operations, there's HR. And they're all designed to actually work with each other. So it's a pretty cool little system. So, and when I talk about value-based, it really is. So this is the monthly value-based currently on the Zoho website. It's $55 an employee. So as you're a sole trader, it's $55 a month, because you're the only employee. So when we talk about value for money, I mean, the amount of apps that you get for that particular money and for that particular investment is actually really critical. It's pretty special. It's not, it's nowhere near, it's probably one of the market leading prices from what I see. Now, as you grow your business and as you bring more employees in, it's going to cost you $55 a month if you are, as you continue to employ under the all employee model. So if you end up with 10 employees, they'll all have access into the Zoho One, and you purchase the license for each and every employee. So as you scale, the system scales with you, or you can go on what they call the flexible user pricing. And once again, this is going to be a choice for each particular organization. It's more per user, but you have the choice of how many licenses you're going to purchase. So the all employee price is for all employees, and or you can have the flexible user pricing and you choose the amount of licenses that you're going to get. So that's the monthly price there. I did some quick sums before we came on. When you look at it from a yearly basis, it works out at $47, I think just over $47 for the all employee pricing, and flexible user comes in at about 116. So if you're going to pay it up front per year, the price does come down as well. So as I said, it's not a sales call. So to me, I think that represents exceptional value. I use the all employee model. So, and Zoho One cost me, I think, under $500 for the year. So this is my particular dashboard for Zoho One. So as you can see, that could be seen as quite overwhelming. I can actually walk you through and tell you each and every one of those apps and what it does, but we're not going to do that. But you can see that for some, this would be quite an overwhelming scenario. You don't need all of them to start, or even to get value out of that pricing, you don't need to use them all. But so it makes sense to have a bit of a logical flow as you work through implementing Zoho One into your business. So the areas that I'm going to work through today, is the mail or your email process. We're going to look at financial software and the logical flow to have with your financial software. We're going to look at the marketing apps because once again, there is a range of marketing apps out there, and there is some stuff that you can implement straight away, and there is some stuff that maybe you hold back on until you get a bit bigger. And then we'll look at the range of customer relationship software as well, because what that will do for you is to put you on a path to actually get a fully fledged CRM up and running for your particular business. So as I said, most of the time, what it means for us is that CRMs can be an incredibly complex beast, but the range of software that Zoho provides is less so. So I've shown you this one. So let's have a look at where to start. So during our webinar today, you are going to see these little blue crosses. So these little blue crosses don't mean that the apps don't exist. They just don't mean, what they mean is you can probably wait to get them up and running. So the first thing here is where it is a really cool way to start is obviously with email hosting. A lot of people will host their emails through G Suite or through Outlook or through Microsoft, or Zoho has its own email hosting, secure, ad-free for your business. And when you implement the email hosting into your business, it enables all of those integrations with things like your accounting packages and also your project management packages. So the one thing to note here is that for every user you're paying for, you will get a dedicated email address. So you must have a user to have an email address. So as a sole trader, I only have one official email address that sits in with my Zoho One package. Now, what it does offer is the offer for email forwarding and email aliases. And so what you can do, you can create your email aliases for things like admin at your business or info at your business, and they can forward into your main email account. And you can actually create from sending from addresses with that. So it actually does create, it does make it, you can create the perception of a larger business. But if you were to employ someone, the reality is that you then need to pay for their existence in Zoho so that you can create a new email or a dedicated email address for them. So you can, Zoho One works with your own domain names. It works as a custom domain. So it's really important to as we know, to have that professional face within our businesses. There's also apps available for your phone and your smartphone, so you are never far from your email. So just like everything that Gmail and G Suite and Microsoft all offer, it's all available through the email hosting. So it's a logical way to start your business, and it's a logical way in starting to use a Zoho One. Now, one of the things that I will just add in here, most of Zoho products have a free trial or a free version of them. And email hosting can be done. I believe I started using Zoho through using their email hosting. And you can create a number of different, I think you get 5 users potentially with the free version. So, but just be mindful when you do go to Zoho One, you'll lose 5 of those, or you're going to be needing to pay. Now, the one that's crossed out is a chat, instant chat app that is available within your business. So it's a lot like a version of, say, Facebook Messenger, for example. So it's nice that it's there. It's not necessarily part of what you should be looking for as a sole trader to implement within your business. So, but it still adds some value, and I'll share that with you right at the end. When we look at our financials, so financials that will grow with your business, a lot of sole traders will start with the advice from their accountant that they just want their transactions put onto a spreadsheet, right? So whether it's revenue coming in or whether it's expenses going out, it gets listed onto a spreadsheet, and your accountant sometimes, most of the time, will then do the rest. So and that's the way I started with my business journey. It was being documented onto a spreadsheet. It was manual. There was no automation. It was needed some discipline for me to be able to do that. So, you know, so one of the first things that, and once again, I was already part of the Zoho organization with my mail, so I started looking at what was around. So the apps that you get within Zoho One are really quite intuitive as you grow your business. So you'll see on the screen in front of you, there's a 1, 2, 3, and that's a logical step. Although, to be honest, I started at step number 2. I went straight into what they call their Invoice app, and I'll show you a screenshot of what that looks like from a dashboard perspective in a sec. But it makes some sense to move from a spreadsheet into what we call the expense app, which is expense management. Now, the beauty with the expense management is that you can scan receipts, it compiles reports, you can reconcile it back to credit cards or your debit cards. It integrates with Zoho Books, so it's an app that you can continue to use, and I'll just share how as we move through. It also integrates with the HR apps here within Zoho, which is pretty cool. So as you grow your business, so you may start using expense management just as a way of documenting your expenses and getting it into some sort of reporting process. Being able to scan those receipts at the time is going to save you some time and some energy. But as you grow your business and as you bring people into your business, you can continue to use expense as part of an expense approval process, which then links directly in with your Zoho Books. So Expense is a really good app to get started with because it's one that you can continue to use as your journey grows. It just fundamentally, maybe some of that fundamental, instead of just monitoring your own expenses, all of a sudden it becomes an approval process for your team. When I first looked into the Invoice app, which is Zoho Invoice, it was purely so I could get some consistency around the invoices or the quoting process that I was sending out with my potential clients. So I wanted to create something that I could track, that I could put in a professional looking invoice. It was going to have a process where it would remind me. I could put in, and follow through with things like 30 days or 7 days or 15 days payment, whatever the case may be. So I moved into the Invoice app. And the Invoice app itself is like a scale back accounting package. You can track your expenses, you can track your revenue, and you can invoice out. So it becomes like, it's like a scaled back, what I would call a scaled back accounting program. So once again, it enables that reporting around things like your overall business. You can you can export it into spreadsheets if your accountant still wants to see things in a spreadsheet. So once again, a fundamentally powerful scaled back version of what a full line accounting software package is nowadays. But ultimately then moving into their books, Zoho Books, which is their fully fledged accounting package. It's got an Australian version, so your GST and BAS are covered. You can reconcile bank statements. You can enable modules as you grow. So enabling things like timesheets. It integrates with Zoho CRM. It integrates with the marketing apps. It integrates with the HR apps. So once again, as your business grows, you're starting to get these processes that can automatically happen within your business. So the ability to, and once again, just enabling some of those modules, just you may go and start working with the Zoho Books apps and understand that you don't need all the modules straight away. So then being able to go and enable them as you go through is really a positive and a great feature to have. So the key here, it's all about growing your business, and it's doing it in a sense that is a logical step. So we're moving from a spreadsheet into tracking and managing and automating to some degree our expenses, the saving of apps, you can start to reduce some of that data entry that we have. They're moving into the scaled back version of what Invoice is, before moving into the fully fledged world of the books package. I started with Invoice. I found that was quite sufficient for my use for probably 2 or 3 years, but over the last, I think it was 2 years ago, I migrated from Invoice into books, and I just haven't looked back. The bank, just being able to reconcile back to your bank statement is just saves me so much time now. It's just unbelievable. Now, the thing to note is that the expense app can stay with you for as long as you want it to, and as you grow your business. Once you've migrated out of Invoice into books, you'll actually lose access to your Invoice app. So part of the upgrade process that Zoho has. So Zoho will upgrade basically your Invoice into the book scenario. Now, the one that's crossed out there is a financial system called Zoho Checkout. So if you know, if you've got Thrivecart, or if you've got one of those Sandcart where you can create checkout landing pages for products, I know I forked out a lot of money for Thrivecart before I realized that I had Zoho Checkout. So once again, just a cool little app that you've got. You can create checkout pages. You can create pages where it integrates with Stripe, it integrates with PayPal, it integrates with a range of payment services. Not necessarily needed straight away for a sole trader, but it's a fantastic little app to have, because it's going to enable you to basically create a checkout anywhere you want. So if you do have any questions, just put it into the chat scenario. Does Zoho offer credit card interaction payment through invoicing? Yes, it does. You can integrate Stripe. I've integrated Stripe, and I've integrated PayPal on mine. So that enables people to get an invoice, and it enables them to click straight on it and pay. and then that payment is automatically receipted back into Zoho Books. So once again, just and that's and also recognition of the fees that you paid. So the fees are automatically then created as an expense within Zoho Books. So this is a screenshot of the expense app. So once again, it's available on mobile app as well. You can track your expenses. You can take scans of your receipts. So pretty simple sort of a dashboard. We look at Zoho Invoice, which is the next one. And once again, looks very much like an accounting program by itself. You can do estimates, which is like your quoting process. There's invoices. You've got your payment receives. You can create recurring invoices. You can create credit notes, and then of course you can track your expenses. So we're starting to get that little bit more complexity in and around our business. So we grow into invoicing. And then of course we've got a reporting. It also has a timesheet function. I can't really talk to that because I don't necessarily use timesheets, but timesheets are also applicable through your project management software. So and I know Zoho Books integrates with that. So if you're tracking people's time through a project, you can actually then utilize that here in Zoho Books. And then the screenshot for Zoho Books, a little bit cleaner actually, doesn't it, than what we saw there with our dashboard for invoicing. But Zoho Books, once again, you get the reporting. There's sales, there's purchases, so different terminology. We can create items that we're going to sell. There's time tracking. You've got accountant and you've got your reporting. Most importantly is all of a sudden you've got that access to your reconciliation through your bank statements, which is really just powerful when it comes to time saving. So once again, just a fantastic little way that you can grow your business. So instead of going straight into like a Xero or an MYB, you can test the waters as you go. So I think when I first went on to Zoho Books, I mean, the price by itself is pretty, I think it was about $240 for the year just to go straight into Zoho Books, which I thought was pretty good. But then when I found out about Zoho One and said, well, I can pay an extra couple of $100 and I'm going to have all of these apps. So once again, just a nice little way to do it. Okay, let's have a look at marketing. So marketing is also one of those things, especially so where we end up with multitudes of different products, and some talk to each other, others don't. I know that there was a time there that I was using Buffer. I still continue to use, say, Social Jukebox, for example. Some people were using Hootsuite, and people use MailChimp, and then so there's a whole range of products out there that all do the job for us, but to make them and to help them talk with each other is quite challenging at times. So once again, I've just got some logical steps here for a sole trader and how we can utilize that. We've got the email marketing process, which is delivered through campaigns. It's Zoho campaigns. So mailing lists, contact information, automation of sequencing of emails. You've got, basically what you would expect a good mailing list software or an email marketing software to do, you've got in Explore campaigns. Oh, sorry, campaigns, Zoho campaigns. Social media marketing, the app is called Zoho Social, and it enables you to schedule for one of your brands in, a range of platforms. So it enables you to actually interact through scheduling, and it's also going to have all your analytics from what you're doing in your socials in one common dashboard. So once again, instead of having to go to Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you can get all your information from the one app, which is fantastic. The other things that we see here on the page, we've got a forms app, so you can build your own forms. You know, something to like Google Forms. It's I'm just trying to think of, yeah, predominantly Google Forms, although there is a couple of different apps in the marketplace. And the one that's really interesting is the survey. So you can, which is slightly different. So you can create survey pages for your customers or your potential customers, and you can, it's going to consolidate that into a report for you. And also keep access and keep it stored for everything that you've asked in that particular survey. So forms, I actually use forms because an app is available on for WordPress, and I actually use Zoho Forms on one of my websites at the moment. And once again, just integrates in with CRM, does it very nicely. So every form that comes in through that one website, it's going straight into the CRM process. So which is pretty cool. And then the final one here is just the Marketing Hub. Now, the Marketing Hub, to be honest, I haven't touched. It's a bit too, it's not necessarily within my needs at the moment, so I haven't necessarily looked, but it's an integrated thing. And once again, Google Ads, Google Analytics, social media analytics, you can launch campaigns from there, you can launch advertising. So it's just it's a magic piece of software, just it's certainly not sitting where I need my marketing at the moment to be. So once again, that's just a logical flow. We normally start with something like a MailChimp within our marketing or our email campaigns. To be able to get all your posts scheduled and analytics in the one place is an absolute bonus, utilizing forms and survey. And then finally, you've got the daddy of them all with the Marketing Hub. So just to show you some of the dashboards, once again, of what it looks like. This is the campaigns dashboard. If you're familiar with any of the mailing list software, you will see that it's very familiar. You know, you've got a dashboard, you've got ongoing campaigns, you've got your subscriber or your contacts list, I think it's now called. You can run your automation through there, and you've got a library that you've also got things like your imagery and whatnot. And then your final bit is your report, but your dashboard's there. This is a generic dashboard that's part of the Zoho family. So you're seeing how your campaigns are working. If you have a look at Zoho Social, so one of the benefits is the ability to be able to get analytics across all of your social media. So this is a little bit of a gold mine. You can schedule your posts, you can link it in, you can set your connections and collaborations along the way. But this is a little bit of around the brand health. Now with the Zoho One, you can have one brand. So the brand that I use Zoho One with is Think and Grow Business. So and for those that know me know that I do have another couple of brands, but ultimately I can check all of my Think and Grow Business in the one, and then I can schedule, I can spend my hour a week in scheduling my social media posts. And once again, having it all in the one platform is just really, it's nice. And then this is the dashboard out of the Zoho Marketing Hub. Once again, you're looking at things like lead generation, web assistant, you've got journeys that you're following there, you're bringing the customer along, you've got leads, you've got engagement. Once again, integrates well with the CRM platform. And once again, this is just about bringing this into your business when you're ready to bring it in, or when you've got that person that can manage that particular process. All righty. So if there are any questions, just throw them into the chat bot as we go, and I'll attempt to answer them as we go. Now, this is the customer software. So what I would call customer software, because this is, we get told you need a CRM, and 100% agree. We all need to have some way of tracking our customers. We all need to have a methodology in which we can understand where our customers are in our pipeline, whatever that looks like. And once again, Zoho tends to make it a little bit easier. So when we're looking at the sales app that you get with Zoho, first up, if you're using things like Calendly or Bookify, or there's a number of different software where people can book you or book your time, integrates with your calendar. Zoho has bookings, and it enables people to book in for, discovery sessions or coaching sessions. It's also integrated with, you can integrate it with your payment platforms. So people can book in for a coaching session and pay for it when they book. So, which is pretty cool, which is something that it's just good to have. So if you're using Calendly, or there's a number of different ones that are out there, bookings can take the place of that. It's not necessarily as refined as some of the other ones, I'll be 100% honest, and Calendly enables you to ask maybe a couple of more questions of your customers, but bookings is a relatively new addition into Zoho One, and I've got no doubt that Zoho is looking to continue to further the features out of that, but does a fantastic job as it is. I use bookings on all my websites. So and once again, just integrates with WordPress pretty painlessly, for example. Now, you may have noticed there's two number ones. So contact management. So as you move through its through your business, contact management is like a really scaled down version of a CRM. CRMs can be incredibly complex. If you just want to manage your contacts and understand where they are, or the last time that you contacted them, or the last whatever the deal was, or at what stage of the process, you can do that through contact management. It's a really simplified version of a CRM. And once again, it just enables you to keep track of those customers. They've just introduced Biggin, which is an interesting name. So it's pipeline management. And so once again, so to me, the logical step would be, once we've started to outgrow contact management, if we ever do, you can move into Biggin, which just provides a couple more options in relation to into that customer relationship. And then, of course, we end up with the fully fledged CRM, which is like a multi-channel approach, which can, you've got sales reps on the road and they're all entering into the system. So the one that I've crossed through here, you don't necessarily need it until you've got your sales teams up in place, but there's obviously an app there called Sales Inbox. I don't use it at the moment. Probably don't have too many plans to use it, to be honest, but it's available, and it just helps us generate. It helps with that sale generation of data. Once again, you look at contact management. This is a screenshot. You can see contacts, you can see deals, you can see tasks, you can see reports. You can link it up with social, you can link it with campaigns. Once again, just doing a lot of work there for what I would call a scaled back version of a CRM. And it's not overwhelming. So often when people see a CRM for the first time, they just look at it and go, oh my God, where do I go? Whereas you can start really quite simply with contact management, and that with manager, and then just starting to work through. We move into the Biggin process. And once again, when we're now starting to look at things like how do we qualify? What's the need analysis? We can start putting steps in that journey. And we can start to visually see where people are in those steps. So contacts, companies, we can start adding products into this one. What are our activities? And then finally, when we get into that fully fledged CRM, leads, contacts, accounts, deals, activities, reports, it really starts to become that fully fledged CRM. So a lot of people love their CRMs. I certainly love being able to track my customers. But ultimately, what you're wanting to really look after here is to don't take the plunge with a fully fledged CRM until you're ready to take the plunge. So as you can see, it looks fantastic, but there's quite a deal of complexity into how you set them up. All right, so they're the main things that I just wanted to walk through. I'm going to show you now some other apps that are available that are really beneficial, that you'll really love within the Zoho One. So we've talked about email, we've talked about marketing, we've talked about our customer management processes. So what also comes with Zoho One is your own range of Office suite. So it's Writer, Sheet, which is your spreadsheet. So Writer is like Microsoft Word or Google Docs. Sheets, which is your spreadsheet program. Show, which is similar to PowerPoint. And you'll find that the compatibility between the two products is really, when I talk Microsoft products and when I talk Zoho products, you'll see that they're compatible to each other. Also, the one that I love is the notebook one. So if you're using things like Evernote, or there's a range, Simple Notes, another one, there's a whole range of notebook software out there. Notebook is fantastic, and once again integrates with things like Zoho Connect. But if ever I need just to take notes, I can create my own little group of notes. And like if for example, I've got a group of notes called leads. So when I've talked to people, and I can go in there and I can just type some data in when I'm talking to them on the phone prior to putting it into any of my other software. Doc is a really interesting one. So this is your own like personal, for want of another word, Dropbox or Google Drive or OneDrive. So you get, I think it's 1 terabyte of your personal files that you can store as part of the Office suite. And then you've got your own digital signature software, which is pretty cool as well. Once again, this is all included in Zoho One. And these are things that you can benefit from almost straight away. So without necessarily having too much need to implement them. So when we've scaled and we've started to employ people, Zoho One also comes with a couple of different human resource packages. One's called People. So this is about managing your team, your approvals, and etc. I haven't got it. I don't have any team members in my team. So at this stage, there's no need for me to have HR, but I know it's there when I need it. So, and the other one is about a recruitment process software. So it enables you to, it's called Recruit. It enables you to keep track of where people are in the recruitment process. So once again, just some fabulous things there that you can utilize out of the Zoho One platform. It's just, it's part. So, and part of me, like, even though when I first looked at it, I'm thinking all of these apps that I'm never going to use at this moment in time. But then when you think about the value that you're getting in all the other apps, and understand that this is value that's going to come into play later on. So, this is the collaboration space within Zoho One. The number one, and if you're a coach or if you've got people that you're creating a community with, the Zoho Connect platform is just seriously one of the best ones out there. And you're basically creating your own private social network, and predominantly based around your own team. So one of the drawbacks with Connect as a sole trader is that you fundamentally can only have one member in your social network, which doesn't create much of a social network, can I just say. So when the anti-procrastination app, I'm not sure if we've got one of those, but I'll share something with you very soon, Leanne, that's going to help with that. So your Connect platform, you can have one member, which is the person that you're paying. So if it's you that as your sole trader, but you can invite an unlimited amount of external guests into your Zoho network. So I use Zoho Connect as part of my coaching process. I invite people in. I can create a group so that they're only seeing the stuff that's relevant for them. I can create groups. I can, there's a task board, there's an events board, there's a forum, there's the capacity to share files. it is an amazing platform. And once again, it's I believe there's still a free trial around Zoho Connect, but it really is amazing what you can do with that. So you can have keep your collaboration or your communication in one space with your clients, and it just helps that out. In respect of project management is a fully project software tool. And you know, interestingly, I've just been working with a project manager, and he wasn't even aware of he's just about to start his own business. And when he saw the capability of Zoho Projects, he just went, wow, it's just a no-brainer. So milestones, tasks, events. I use Zoho Projects, for example, whenever I've got to map through, say, an engagement with a client. The one that comes to mind, I had a customer service project that needed to be delivered. I mapped it in Zoho Projects and was able to keep track of things as we did them. It also enables you to have collaborators. So if you're collaborating, as I was on that space, you can invite those people into project management as a collaborator. So they're going to see exactly what they need to see. So once again, included in Zoho One, fantastic. The last two on that page, Bug Tracker, I haven't even looked at because it's all about how you can utilize that with your own software. So project management, Leanne, is probably one that can really utilize for procrastination, because it links also, once again, with Connect. It also links with your email. So whatever you put into project management will automatically be updated as long as you've done the integration with your Zoho Mail. Now, the other ones that, as a coach or as a provider of training programs, Zoho Showtime is actually fundamentally, it is actually an online platform for you to present, for you to have on-demand training. So once again, it's just it's a little program that sits there that just offers huge value for people in personal services or personal development. So you can present on there, you can have an interactive online class, or you can create an on-demand session that people can come in. Once again, integrates with PayPal and all of those processes. So people, you can fundamentally use it as your own online platform, so online learning platform. And the other one there is web conferencing and webinars. It's a platform called Zoho Meetings. And it's good. It's not a Zoom. It's not got the same, it's sufficient for most needs in relation to your online web conferencing or meeting software. Zoom does have a couple of more features, so but once again, this is included. So if you're paying for Zoom, you may be able to move away from Zoom. So just a couple of last. A Trello board is more similar to what I would see in the Zoho Connect platform. So the Zoho Connect platform, for example, you can create tasks, and I'll see if I've got one here that I can just quickly show you. See if I've got one here of what that would look like, just to give you an idea. All right, so that should be coming through. So this is this is my dashboard at the moment in relation to Zoho Connect. So I can view it. So it's connected with Connect. It's connected with Zoho CRM. I've also got my mail connected. If I was to go into, say, so you can run it either as what I showed you then, or you can do it as boards. You can assign them to whoever is in. So this is one of my restricted guests. It's just my test pilot. So similar to what a Trello board can do, but probably more to what the project software can do. So, but the interesting one also, Leanne, is orchestrally. Now, orchestrate recurring business activities in your organization. It can create your processes that people can follow, automate, manage, and optimize your processes. So once again, it's an app that is in the Zoho One that is just a powerful app in its own right, but it's part of the process. So these are just some of the other useful apps. I use each and every one of these. So Sales IQ is a chatbot. I've got it installed on a number of my websites. It also integrates with things like there's an events platform software that I'm not going to go into, but powerful events management software. So Sales IQ is an absolute given to me. If you don't have a chatbot on your website, Sales IQ provides you one. Flow is an example of an app that is like a Zapier app. So even if you don't have integration with other things, there may be an automatic integration there through Flow that you can use. It's like a Zapier product. Analytics is a single app that reports across the major apps. So instead of having to go to CRMs and books and marketing hubs, et cetera, you can just go into analytics and it's going to give you a bit of a snapshot. Work Drive. So as well as getting docs with your Office suite, you're also getting a Work Drive, which is more of a team storage. So you get 5 terabytes per user. So once again, that's pretty powerful. And then we talk about orchestrally, which is, workflows. It's about automating business activities. So just in summary, because I know we're just about out of time, so set up your business well from the beginning. I always say to people, where you can, you're always looking to set your business up to sell. So set it up well, set it up to sell. So even though a lot of people can't think about that when they're first starting a business, what you want to be looking at is how I can systemize, how I can automate and make it efficient. Zoho has trial periods on much of their software, so you can limit the risk by going in and making sure it's for you. If it's not Zoho One, look for software that integrates and will grow with you. So understand what your needs are, and then start looking for software that can grow with you. It's important to note that not all apps will automatically integrate. Most, you need to flick a setting in their settings to integrate automatically. It's not hard to do. It's very easy to find. And then there are some apps that are going to integrate only through Zoho Flow. So that's also just important to know. All right, so if I can help in any way, shape or form, there are my details, Tony at TAGB, thinkandgrowbusiness.com.au, or you can email me at 0417 197 149. So if there is anything that I can do to help with your...
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Anything, and Siri's just gone off. If there's anything that I can do to help with your decision process, or if you wanted to, ask some further questions, please utilize ASPAS and book me for an hour, and I can help you with get some clarity around certain apps, if that is what indeed you are looking to do.